Hi, I'm Greg Netto, and I hope you enjoyed a sustainable composite bridge story. In my view, the composite industry is a natural ally to the sustainability movement. So we asked Anthony Kane, the president and CEO of the Institute for Sustainable Infrastructure, to share some of his insights on ISI and the Envision framework.
So the Institute for Sustainable Infrastructure is a nonprofit that was created by the American Society of Civil Engineers, the American Public Works Association, and the American Council of Engineering Companies, all recognizing the need for an industry to have a common language around what is sustainable infrastructure. Sustainability is a very complex subject covering a wide range of areas. At the same time, infrastructure is a complex subject covering a wide range of areas. So it becomes really important when we're talking about sustainable infrastructure. What do we really mean by that? And that's what Envision does. It provides a definition, a consistent way of looking at all the different factors and ways in which infrastructure influences our sustainability and gives us a measuring stick to see where we are and where we'd like to go. And we think that's a critical component of moving forward as an industry.
Sustain it or explain it. Can you tell us about that campaign?
Absolutely. So we feel that the desire for sustainable infrastructure at the local level is really high right now. And really what would cause a sea change and a systemic change are signals from our federal government that they support and advocate for sustainability as well. So we've started a sustain or explain advocacy campaign, really trying to flip the script that for too long, people who have advocated for sustainable and resilient, equitable infrastructure have been asked to explain why we should build better infrastructure, why we should have higher quality infrastructure. And we think that should be the default. We should be demanding better infrastructure for ourselves. And it should be the responsibility of the others to explain why we shouldn't be doing that. Why shouldn't we be developing infrastructure for the 21st century to meet the challenges that we know we have to face? So that's sustain it or explain it, our advocacy campaign, and really targeting at our elected officials to remind them that we support better quality infrastructure.
Has anyone actually tried to explain why it's better not to be sustainable?
No one's met that challenge yet.
I used the comparison in the video to LEED. Do you think that's a valid comparison? And talk a little bit about was LEED certification kind of the early, forerunner to what you're doing with sustainable infrastructure?
Absolutely. So the sustainability in the built environment movement really did start with buildings. And we've been focused for about 20 years on how do we make more efficient, more sustainable buildings. And part of ISI's message is that our built environment is buildings, but the other half of that is the infrastructure that we often overlook and we don't see. So while we're very supportive that we need to have more sustainable buildings, we also need to have more sustainable infrastructure. So we really find ourselves in this nexus of challenges. As we've heard, we have to tackle climate change. We need to address equity. We need to address an economic recovery after COVID-19. At the same time, we've known for many years now that the investments that we made in infrastructure following World War II are reaching the end of their life. 70, 80 years later, we have a lot of infrastructure that's in need of repair. We know that we need to make a massive investment in that infrastructure. And I think the key question for our time is that investment has to happen one way or the other. But is that investment going to be towards the future, towards tackling the challenges that we know we need to face, towards new ideas and innovations? Or is it going to be just the repair and maintenance of systems that are 80 years out of date and that we know aren't working and aren't meeting the challenges of today? So I think we're in this really unique opportunity to take that step forward, to tackle all of these challenges at the same time, providing 21st century infrastructure to help us for the next 70 to 80 years.